So I was hosting my very first leadership retreat, and I was so pumped about this. So I did my due diligence, and I reach out to Beachbody Corporate, and I tell them, I'm sure you've heard through the grapevine by now, but I'm hosting the very best leadership retreat for my team that ever was. So I'm going to need one of the following 3 people to be in attendance. I'll take Mr. Jeff Hill, Mr. Michael Neiman, and if neither of them are available, I'll settle for Carl Deichler. And they reply back to me, oh, sweet, naive little nobody, you can have none of them. But we have someone new, and they started last month. Their name's Kim Carver. And I think to myself, who's this chick? Well, this chick, Mr. Kim Carver, ended up being one of the greatest gifts to our team. He's definitely, yes. He has come to every retreat since then. So fast forward a bit, and we are hosting our first retreat since our team officially achieved Superstar Diamond. And Kim flies out, and I am so fired up to have Kim at this retreat, to have these girls there. They fought so hard to attend. Our team is just buzzing with this energy that comes with achieving such an awesome goal. So Kim comes to the retreat, and like he so often does, he's pouring into each individual person, taking his time, making them feel like the center of the universe. And there's a little lull in the action, so he says, hey, Liz, we haven't really had a chance to catch up yet. Why don't we find a time to chat? I'm like, sure, let's go talk. So we sit down, and I'm just excited for our conversation because I just am so happy he's seeing everything we've done over the last year. So we start talking, and I can tell he's a little off. He's like making small talk, which you know Kim, he doesn't really do that. And he's kind of fidgety, and he's Kim, so he's like sweating buckets. And I'm like, Kim, what's up with you? And he's like, do I have your permission to be totally honest? I was like, yeah, sure. And I'm thinking in my head, well, obviously, he's nervous to tell me how proud he is of everything I've done over the last year. So I'm like, sure, what do you got on your mind? And he looks at me, and he takes a breath, and he says, Liz, you've been drastically underperforming your potential. Got to be honest, I didn't see that one coming. And after the fiery Italian in me finally chilled out, I realized that Kim was the first person in my life in a long time to have the courage to hold up the mirror. He was right. I was so focused, so hyper-focused on the goal that I had lost sight of my vision. And how often do we do that with our teams? Where they come in, they're all excited to be a part of our teams and our organization. And the first thing we do is we talk about the goals. Okay, first you're going to hit Emerald, and then you're going to make sure you're hitting this Success Club thing every month so you can get your success starters. And eventually we're going to talk to you about your week leg volume so you're moving in the right direction financially and maximizing the compensation plan. And all of these things are so, so important because they are the mile markers that lead us to the vision. But they're not the most important thing. Because one of 2 things can happen when we just focus on the goal. A coach gets excited about it, and they start pushing so hard for that goal, and they achieve it. But because it was all about the goal, they don't know what's next. So they get stuck at Diamond or wherever they land, and then they get discouraged, and they fall off. Or maybe they push so hard for that goal, and they fall short, and they get discouraged. Because it was all about the goal, they're down and out, and they fall off. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about how I see the difference between a goal and a vision, hopefully give you a little insight into that. So here's an example. A goal is hosting an amazing retreat for your team. But a vision is actually picturing the energy in that amazing place in this group of leaders who are all coming together to cast the vision for their future and step boldly into it and to start living up to their full potential. A goal is losing the weight. Awesome goal. But a vision is choosing to become your healthiest, best self so that you can live your very best life. And a goal is taking the stage as a superstar diamond coach. Epic photo bomb, Bonnie. But a vision is showing a team of incredible people what's actually possible when they go all in on this opportunity. A vision is made up of a series of seeds that's kind of planted along the way. And if you're in this room, as coaches, as leaders, we all understand and totally embrace the hustle. That's what we had to do to get here, right? And we want the tactics, like tell me, X, Y, Z, I will do it, I will apply it, I will move my business to the next level. And that stuff's important, but if we only focus on that, if we only focus on that milestone without continually laying the groundwork for vision, the evolutionary process of that vision growing and changing with us, we get so tired. We get defeated. And then we teach our coaches to do that too, and they get tired. And then we end up dragging their dead weight. And it's miserable. I forgot to reinvent. I got complacent. I got comfortable. And you know what happened? Nothing at first. I was riding the high of a victory. But eventually that ripple effect kicked in. And I started to question myself. Have I lost my mojo? I started to question my leadership. Do I even know how to lead these people anymore? I started to question my team. Have they all gone soft on me? Did I recruit a bunch of weenies? And then I questioned the system. Is it broken? Like, have we passed our time here? Are we done? Instead of leaning into the gospel truth of what I know to be true, where we go is always determined by where we actually see ourselves going. Think about it. We've seen this before. You have a new coach. They come into the business. They know nothing about anything. Their pictures on social media make you want to vomit. Their hashtags make you want to keel over and die. Hashtag Beachbody coach. And they don't know any of the tactics yet. But here's what they do know. This morning, when they got up to go get ready for work, they're walking into the bathroom, and they catch a glimpse of their reflection in the mirror. And for the first time in 10 years, they don't say something hateful about themselves because they just completed a 21-day program that showed them what they're actually capable of. And they lost the weight. And they saw in their reflection a confidence that they haven't seen in over a decade. And then when they get into work that day, they're sitting at their desk, and instead of wanting to bash their face into the keyboard or hook up a continuous IV drip of caffeine into their bloodstream, they have this sustainable energy about them. Because for the last month, they've been drinking their shake every single day. A daily dose of dense nutrition that their body has been craving for a very long time. They don't know the details about the business. They don't know what they're supposed to do first, but they do know that those little seeds were planted because of those experiences. So they just start leading with their heart. And because it worked for them, they start thinking about all the people that it could work for too. They picture their mom and their best friend and the people that they could serve with this opportunity or with our products. And the next thing you know, they've earned their first $100, and they've hit Success Club, and they've rank advanced. Our products served and solved an external problem, weight loss, health. But it was never really about our products. It was about what our products help us to become. And I think our CEO said it best. I saw a post he put up recently. People often first think of Beachbody as a fitness company, when really it has always been about a complete approach to a strong self-esteem and healthy weight loss. Don't get it twisted, I still like a good margarita, I just don't wash it down with a large pepperoni pizza at midnight. So, what changes everything is we know duplication is important. This is what we teach. We know we have to have that depth within our organizations. But when the duplication isn't just about the day-to-day actions, again, not belittling how important those business activities are, but when we flip this whole thing on its head, imagine this network-wide shift that from day one, we have a coach come into our team and we teach them to cast the vision for their lives and step so boldly into it that they know exactly who they have to become to actually get there. And then we can take it from that macro level, that's kind of like an idea, pie in the sky kind of thing, and then bring it down to that micro level of what are the action steps that someone has to take that's becoming that person. Because the real reason that someone doesn't get to where they want to go in this business is not because they do not have the answer to the question, what do I need to do? It's because they're asking the wrong question entirely. Who do I need to become? So how can we as coaches, as leaders, teach our teams the importance of being so committed to those day-to-day actions, but not letting our worth get tied up in the results that come at the end of each day, the rejections that might come from inviting or doing those actions? We have to teach them to keep their eyes up just enough to always see the vision. I'll share a little bit about what I've learned. This has been such an evolutionary process for me. Like, I am continually growing. I know who I want to become, but then that changes and I grow beyond that. And it's just, this is going to go on, God willing, for the rest of my life. But here are some of the things I learned. I learned that with the vision I had to be so fiercely committed to this business. I had to show up even through the valleys that we experience. I had to do the work out of discipline over motivation. And I had to become someone who showed up, not because my business activity or tracker told me to, because I knew where I was going. I knew who I would have to become to actually get there. And one of the character traits of that person that I was not yet at her status was someone who shows up. So I just did it. And then I had to be a player in the long game because I was so done with working my butt off for Thursday morning or for this month or even this year, because my vision transcended all of that. I was going so far beyond these little short-sighted ways of thinking. There's such a danger in living in the day-to-day only. And one of the greatest perspectives that my coach ever gave me was this. So, who in here knows Keith Callahan? Okay. So, if you know Keith, he's like super zen and super chill and always says the right things. Well, he used to drive me freaking crazy because I would call him panicked on a Wednesday night. Like, Keith, I'm in qualification. I think I'm going to lose rank. What should I do? Or I'd reach out at the end of the month like, oh, I need some strategies. I might be losing my Success Club streak. I need to figure this out, hoping that the guy would just give me a freaking script that I could send out to a bunch of people and just get my goal done. But no, not Keith Callahan. Keith would reply so calm and cool and collected and bald and say, sorry, Keith. He would say, Liz, are you fighting for today? Or are you fighting for the vision? Because we all know the truth. Once someone catches the vision, once they are inspired, just get the hell out of their way. They're going to make this happen with or without us. Those are the kind of people that we want to bring to the top with us. I heard this story once, maybe you guys have heard it, of this whitewater rafting instructor. And he talks about how people pay good money to come out, let him be their guide, and let them go on the rapids with them. But he and these people were getting frustrated because almost every time they'd end up flipping the boat. It was a long day, and he thought he was doing what he had to do, pointing out, like, these rocks, you don't want to go near those, and those rapids are really dangerous, so stay away from them. But almost every time they'd hit the rocks, they'd flip in the rapids, and he was getting so confused about what he should do. So he decided he was going to change the way he led them. Instead of pointing at the things he wanted them to avoid, he started aiming them exactly where he wanted them to go. And do you know what happened? They stopped flipping the boat. And they'd get to their end destination a lot drier, but also a lot happier along the way. As the leaders, we have to help cast that vision for our coaches. They don't have the 2020 vision that we have. They don't have the retrospect or the perspective of having lived through years of mistakes and struggles and rising up despite them. So when someone is stuck in your organization, or tell me if this is your favorite phrase, when they're like, I'm taking a step back from coaching. That makes me want to work with them so bad. They're actually not just stuck. Their vision's blurry. Think about it. If someone came to you, which they obviously have, and gave you this gift, they said, here's this opportunity, here's this vehicle that will take you to your dreams. Here are the resources you need to do it. Follow these steps, and you will get there. If they actually believed that they could be the ones on the other end of that rainbow vision, having found that success, if they actually thought that it was possible for them, wouldn't they move mountains to make it happen? So it's not that they don't have time, or they don't have the capacity, or life is too crazy. It's that their belief is shaken. And it's up to us to help them bring that belief back into focus. And we cannot take this responsibility lightly. This is literally an opportunity, a movement that is changing people's lives. And in case you needed some evidence, I decided I'd bring some for you. This is a video of some of my coaches.
The choice was, I can continue living this way, or I can get better.
I remember specifically staring at the ceiling, and I was like, is this all that there is to life? I just wake up, go to a job I don't even want to go to, and that's that. I felt like I was made for more.
I had kind of hit that point where I knew that that change had to begin with me, and it only made sense to invest in something that was going to help me better myself mentally, emotionally, physically.
Coaching drew me in because it was an opportunity for me to do something impactful, but also to provide my family with something that I never would have been able to provide before, which is freedom.
People that are so different and so unique, but you're all brought together for one purpose and for one reason, because we want to help other people with their health and nutrition and to live out their purpose in their life.
Working on my version of my best self and then helping other people do the same thing. That has been now so fulfilling for my family, because I can be a better person, mom, wife, friend, and now mentor to other people who want to do something similar or just really be their healthy selves.
Just empowering people who kind of have goals and dreams for their family and who aren't afraid to go out of the mold to make that happen.
Day by day, month by month, year by year, I just wanted to do more of that. This is really where I want to be, doing something that's going to light me up every single day.
A matter of a couple of days of just feeling better about myself, I said everybody has to have this. Everybody has to be a part of this. Everybody needs to feel this.
I was drawn to this opportunity for the community, and then I realized all the possibility of everything else I could accomplish if I just worked hard and didn't give up and shared it with anyone that would listen. If I stuck to this, I could change that for us, and I did.
I get goosebumps watching that. I've seen it so many times. And I had no intention of, when we were filming this video, I had no intention of using it for this, but what they said, I mean, it just totally spoke to me and inspired so much of what I'm talking about today. This was our most recent team retreat, just last month. I'm not going to insult your intelligence by reading the entire Beachbody does not guarantee statement. So notice, it's run across the bottom just for your viewing pleasure. But one of the cool things about this particular retreat this year was that we got to host one of the days out at our home, our farm property that we moved into just a little over a year ago. And Kim flew out for it, wouldn't have it any other way. And as the night was starting to wind down, we're sitting on this big leather sectional in our great room, overlooking the rolling hills and our pastures. And one of my coaches, she speaks up and she says, "Liz, do you see it?" I'm like, "No, what?" She's like, "We're here. We're here. This is the home and the life that you dreamed about for all those years. And this is the team. This is the team that you knew you would lead before we ever even said yes. And because you showed us what was possible, we believe it's possible for us too. Don't you get it? This was the vision all along." It is not our job to convince people to do something that they don't want to do. But it is our privilege. It is our privilege to have the opportunity to show them what's possible and teach them how to cast the vision for the life that they are called to live, and how to use this incredible opportunity, this amazing gift, as the vehicle to get them there. Let's go home and share that gift with our teams. Thank you.